I'm Ekta Batra. With me is Manglam Malu as well as Sonia Shenoy. Well, it's turning out to be a day where we're really not talking about the indices, we're talking about specific stocks. And to drill down in terms of specific sectors, we can't talk enough about what's happening in the media space and the big deal which has taken place there. It's really momentous in the fact that at least there is some movement within that entire sector which has taken place. But nonetheless, besides that, we have a lot of other stocks to focus on. For example, Divi's Labs, in fact, has lost quite a lot of ground in today's trading session. There is a report, a brokerage report indicating some AGM takeaways. So maybe that's weighing on that stock. So down around 2% for that particular counter. Reliance on the back of brokerage notes is also in focus. And Adani stocks continue to be in focus, along with something like a TV today as well.
Oh, absolutely. So since Adani is the big story of the day, let's take that forward, right? The Adani Group has indirectly acquired more than 29% in news broadcaster NDTV. The Adani Group's unit has also announced an open offer for an additional 26% stake at 294 rupees per share. Now, this open offer will cost Adani almost 500 crore rupees. Yash, my colleague, has been tracking this closely. He's here with more details. Yash, first, if you can tell us how the deal is structured and what's next for NDTV.
So that's correct, Sonia. So first, I'll quickly speak about the shareholding pattern at NDTV itself. The promoters, Pranoy Roy, Radhika Roy, both together hold a little over 32% stake. Another promoter entity called RRPR held around 29% stake, and it's this 29% stake of RRPR that has been acquired by this entity called Vishwa Pradhan Commercial, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Adani Group. Interestingly, the announcement to acquire Vishwa Pradhan Capital also came just minutes before they announced the acquisition of RRPR's 29% stake in NDTV. Now, speaking about the deal structure, Vishwa Pradhan, which, as I said, is a unit of Adani Group, has converted warrants issued by RRPR to the company, which represents ownership of 29% stake in NDTV. Now, since Vishwa Pradhan Commercial is a unit of Adani gets an indirect holding of that 29% stake in NDTV. That's essentially the structure that has been panned out. As far as what's next, since it's an acquisition of more than 25% stake with voting rights of more than 25%, it triggered an open offer. This open offer would be for another 26% stake in NDTV, and the cost would be 294 rupees per share, which is about 25% discount to current market price of NDTV. What's in store for the Roys? Essentially three options. One is that if they feel it's a hostile takeover, they do have the option of going forward and contesting it on the legal ground. Second one, they can tender in their shares as far as the open offer is concerned and exit NDTV completely. And the third one is to co-promote NDTV with the Adani Group.
All right, hang in there, Yash. Ekta, usually this space was known to have not much news, but just the last 1 year, we've had the Z-Sony announcement, we've had the Inox PVR merger, we've had a new sports player and the IPL auctions, etc.
So, Inox PVR is not directly indicative, I mean, of what's happening. I used to track this sector
I know, but it's just that we don't realize
at least
in the last 1 year
so much activity
has taken place.
Yeah.
Yes, but Yash, you're still with us. Who are the bigger shareholders in NDTV, and what happens? Will they sell in the open offer?
Well, Manglam, if you look at the shareholding pattern, it itself gives you a very interesting story, and I'll speak about that. So, three sets of shareholders when it comes to NDTV, and these three sets are: one is Drolia Agencies, the second one is GRD Securities, and the third one Adesh Broking. These three have interlinked directors amongst themselves. I am not saying that this has to pan out the way I am explaining it, but the thought is that if one of this shareholder also decides to participate in the open offer, it's likely that all three would. And if that happens, approximately 6% of shareholding gets participated in the open offer straight away. The second interesting part is LTS Investments, which owns a large chunk in NDTV, about 9.75% stake. The same FII, that is LTS Investment, also holds stake in various Adani Group companies, be it Adani Enterprise, where they hold 1.7% stake, Adani Power about 1% stake, 1.6% stake in Adani Transmission, also 1.3% stake in Adani Total. It is, to one's assumption, that if they are holding stake in Adani Group companies, it is likely that they could participate participate in this open offer at NDTV also, which will help Adani raise its stake in the company. These two sets of investors, if they come together, that essentially takes Adani's holding in NDTV straight to 45%. So a lot rides on these two shareholders, and that was an interesting bit which came out of the shareholding pattern itself.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Yash. Well, a very surprising, shocking to many, the method in which